Welcome to lecture 13 of HRM lecture series. This lecture is in continuation with our previous lectures where we talked about recruitment and selection. In today's lecture, we will talk about the placement of these new employees, then induction, orientation and socialization of these new workers. Let us start discussing this. After selecting the candidates, human resource manager has to place them. So what is placement? Placement is the allocation of right people to the right job. And the need of placement can arise out of promotion, transfer, demotion or assignment of a new employee. These first three situations arise when our existing workers are given new assignment. Either they are promoted, they are transferred or they are demoted. And the fourth situation arises when new workers are appointed in the organization. So human resource manager has to assign these workers a task to perform, and this is called placement. Now we know that when a person is appointed in the organization, there is a cool off period. This cooling off period is termed as probation. That means before confirming the job of this new appointee, what the organization has to do is to put this worker on probation. That means this is termed as the trial period for both, for the employer and for the employee. So if it is a period of 1 year, say if it is a period of 1 year, then after 1 year, if the performance of this worker is found satisfactory, his or her job is confirmed. Similarly, even this employee has a choice to continue or not to continue after this period of probation. So this period of probation is termed as a cooling off period, where both the employer, the organization and this new employee get a chance to know each other, and then confirmation takes place. Now placement should be organization centric, because placement is being done for the benefit of the organization. So whenever a person is being assigned a particular task, the benefit of the organization must be kept in mind. But simultaneously, what is important is that even the interest of the employee is also considered, because if the employee is satisfied and happy in the position where he or she is placed, then only the efficiency will improve, right? And if the efficiency of the worker improves, it increases the productivity and ultimately it benefits the organization. So placement is being done for the benefit of the organization, but the interest of the employee must be kept in mind so that ultimately the organization benefits. Okay. Now this selected employee should neither be overqualified nor less qualified for the job for which he or she is being placed. Now why are we saying that the employee must not be overqualified for the job? So if the person is overqualified for the job for which he or she is supposed to work, then definitely there will be some sort of dissatisfaction. This worker will not be happy to work at the position for which he or she is overqualified. So there will be dissatisfaction and there will be say lack of performance on his or her part. And if the person is less qualified, then again there will be a problem. If the person is less qualified for the job for which he or she is assigned to work, then definitely the performance will not be up to the mark. The person will definitely hesitate to perform and there will be deficiency in the performance. So the placement should be proper. This is one thing. And one more very important point related with placement is that it should be subject to review. If there are some possibilities that the person is not placed at the right job, then it must be flexible. That means the placement can be reviewed and can be redone at a later stage, because mistakes can be done by anybody. So even though human resource manager is taking care of all the facts before assigning a task to a newly appointed worker, still chances of mistake can be there. Therefore, once a worker is placed at a particular post, then there should always be a review of that, and if there a need is if the need is, then the position must be changed or the person must be placed somewhere else. Okay, now after placement, let us talk about induction or orientation. What is induction? uh, Even for you people, when you joined the college for the first time, there was an orientation program. Orientation means to making aware the new employees, to making familiar the new employees to the organization and to their co-workers. So orientation programs are designed to provide the new employee with the information about the organization and the job that he or she is supposed to do, and his or her co-workers, that is the colleagues with which this person is will be working in the organization. So here what happens is that these new workers are introduced to the existing workers, and simultaneously the existing workers are introduced to the new workers. So this is orientation, and orientation results in reduction of anxiety due to fear of unfamiliarity. So when this kind of formal introduction takes place and an orientation program is designed, planned, and organized, then ultimately these new workers are able to take care of their anxiety. They are able to say avoid the fear of unfamiliarity, and they get familiar with the environment and the people with which they are going to work now. Hence, orientation is a process of familiarizing the employee with the job and the organization before the work starts, and this is also known as induction. So induction and orientation both are one and the same thing. Now let us talk about various problems associated with orientation or induction programs. When these programs are organized, then a number of uh, problems can erupt. There can be a number of reasons where we find that induction program does not serve the purpose it is supposed to. When the supervisor is not trained properly to conduct the program, then this induction program goes haywire. What does that mean? This induction program or this orientation program or this familiarization program is being organized by the supervisor. Supervisor is the one who say under whom these new workers will work, and also uh, supervisor is the one who is already working in the organization. So if he or she is not properly trained to conduct orientation program, the orientation program will not serve the purpose. Then second is when the new employee is overloaded with information. So this induction program is being held to familiarize the new worker, but then if too much of information about the job, about the organization, and about the colleagues is given in a short period of time, this new employee gets perplexed and is overloaded, and it becomes uh, incomprehensible for him to understand what all he is being told. Okay, so then the induction program does not serve the purpose, it goes haywire. Another possibility of induction program not being effective is when wrong or incorrect perceptions are developed by an employee. So when this familiarization program is taking place, when this orientation is going on, and suppose with the information that this employee is getting, suppose he makes wrong notions about the organization or about other co-workers, then the purpose of induction program goes haywire. It does not serve the purpose of induction program. And the last problem that can be there in conducting orientation program is when emphasis is given on the work aspect rather than the humane side of the organization. Mind you, when we are talking about human resource, we are talking about human beings, and I have always been telling you that since we cannot treat our human resource like other factors of production, therefore when this induction program is taking place, it is important to focus on the humane side of the organization. Okay, because as far as work is concerned, these new appointees will definitely learn about the work sooner or later, but if they form a wrong impression about the co-workers, or if they form the wrong impression about the management in the beginning itself, it will definitely harm the interest of the organization, and it will definitely affect their performance. Okay, so these are the problems with orientation program which human resource manager or a supervisor organizing this program must take care of. Now the next topic is socializing. Socializing, as you must be knowing, it is a process through which employees are familiarized with organizational realities, which in turn brings them closer to the existing surroundings of their workplace. You see, when a new person joins the organization, he or she might not be knowing in detail about the work culture of the organization, about the value system of the organization, about the norms and beliefs of the organization. So during socialization, this person is say basically comes to know about all these realities. Okay, so it helps in bringing a change in the attitude and behavior of an employee, which will be in sync with the organizational culture. That means when this new person is introduced about the work ethos of the organization, the value system of the organization, then even the attitude and behavior of this new worker will also mold accordingly. उसे भी समझ आ जाएगा कि उसे किस तरह के वर्क एनवायरनमेंट में काम करना है. फॉर एग्जांपल, पंक्चुअलिटी कितना मैटर करती है इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, या रेगुलरिटी कितना मैटर करती है, या ऑनेस्टी कितना मैटर करती है, या हार्डवर्क कितना मैटर करता है. इन सब चीजों को जब वो शुरू में ही समझ लेंगे तो वो अकॉर्डिंगली बिहेव करेंगे. और जो हम ये भी कहते हैं फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन इज द लास्ट इंप्रेशन, तो ये वो सारे काम हैं जब फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन बनाया जा रहा है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बारे में. एंड देयरफॉर द पीपल ऑर्गेनाइजिंग दीज programs, be it induction, be it orientation or socialization, must be careful of giving a good impression about the co-workers and of the organization to these new employees. It is also necessary to help people feel comfortable in their new job, because now they have come to a new surroundings and they have to work with the new people. So there may be some sort of hesitations, there may be some sort of anxiety. So this is the responsibility of the existing workers, and this is the responsibility of the managers to reduce this anxiety of new workers and to make familiar with their new job and to bring about psychological adjustments in their new surroundings. Ultimately, socialization results in cordial relationships. So if it takes place properly, then it serves the purpose of creating cordial relationships among the co-workers, among the management and the workers, and so on. Socialization is a broader term which is practiced at different stages. हाँ, socialization ऐसा नहीं है कि एक ही बार होता है और इंडक्शन के बाद ही होता है और फिर कभी नहीं होता है. It is a broader term and it keeps on going. Induction is a part of socialization क्योंकि नए रिक्रूट्स को पुराने वर्कर्स से, एग्जिस्टिंग वर्कर्स से मिलने का मौका मिलता है, उनको जानने का मौका मिलता है. लेकिन सोशलाइजेशन इज अ कॉन्टिन्यूस प्रोसेस। तो डिफरेंट इनफॉर्मल सेटअप्स में पार्टीज ऑर्गेनाइज की जाती हैं, फेस्टिवल सेलिब्रेट किए जाते हैं, बर्थडे सेलिब्रेट किए जाते हैं, ऑल दिस इज डन। या फिर किसी पर्टिकुलर से वर्कर ने कुछ अचीव किया हो तो उसके अचीवमेंट्स को सेलिब्रेट किया जाता है। ऑल दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ सोशलाइजेशन एंड इट इज अ कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस। नाउ लेट अस understand the phases of socialization process. There are basically three phases. The first one is pre-arrival. Pre-arrival is meant for the new entrants, and here it recognizes learnings which have occurred before employees join the organization. तो ये लोग जो नए लोग हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं, इन्हें बताया जाता है कि अभी तक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्या होता रहा है और क्या हमारा सिस्टम है, क्या हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अचीवमेंट्स हैं और क्या यहाँ पर जो स्टाफ है, जो वर्कर्स हैं, उन्होंने कैसे अपने आप को प्रोग्रेस किया है ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. And then the second stage is encounter. After pre-arrival, the second phase of socialization is encounter, and here experience of employee with the reality. These new employees who have now become part of the organization, now they have their own experiences with the organization. तो जब वो पहला स्टेज था जहां प्री अराइवल था, वहां उन्होंने दूसरों के एक्सपीरियंसेस को सुना था, उन्हें समझा था और अपने आप में ऐसा सोचा था कि अच्छा उनको ये सब मिलने के चांसेस हैं. और ये सेकंड स्टेज वो है जहां वो खुद ये सब एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं, यानी दे आर नाउ पार्ट ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, सो दे आर लर्निंग बाय देमसेल्व्स. एंड देन द थर्ड स्टेज इज मेटामॉर्फोसिस. Metamorphosis means here member takes conscious decision to develop compatibility with the organization. अब देखिए यहाँ क्या हो रहा है. यहाँ सबसे पहले बताया गया कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्या होता है. यहाँ एम्प्लॉय ने खुद एक्सपीरियंस किया कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्या हो रहा है, और थर्ड स्टेज में उसको ये समझ आ गया कि कैसे कंपैटिबिलिटी बनानी है विद द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, और उसको कॉन्शियसली एफर्ट्स करने पड़ते हैं क्योंकि नाउ दिस न्यू मेंबर has decided to continue with the organization. तो organization है, एग्जिस्टिंग वर्कर्स हैं, और अब आपको कैसे उनके सबके साथ मिलकर कंपैटिबिलिटी बनानी है और अपने गोल्स को अचीव करना है और अल्टीमेटली ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के गोल को अचीव करना है. दिस थर्ड स्टेज इज टर्म्ड एज मेटामॉर्फोसिस. विद दिस वी कम टू द एंड ऑफ आवर डिस्कशन ऑफ placement, induction, orientation and socialization. We'll be talking about some other topic in our next lecture.